All right. Good morning. Okay, so here we are. We're in Leviticus chapter 10, right?
Verse 12.
Verse 12.
Mhm.
All right. And Moshe spake with Aaron and Eleazar and Ithamar, his sons, who were left from the burning. So Aaron had four sons,
Mm,
and now he's talking to these new sons. Now, these is Aaron's sons from Egypt.
mm,
Okay.
wow.
So this is his sons from Egypt. And so now we're looking at it and we're saying, okay, these were left. It says, take the mention that remaineth of Yah's oblation and eat it unleavened at the side of the altar because it is most sacred. And you may eat it in the holy place, for it is your portion and the portion of thy souls of the oblation of Yah. For so have I been commanded.
Mm,
So this is what it is, and here you go.
yes, yes.
I know you lost two brothers, but you here, and we
Mm-hmm.
keep going.
Yes.
And Aaron said to Moses, "Behold, this Aaron talking now. Behold, the sons of Israel have brought the oblation of their sin offering and their burnt sacrifice before Yah. But a stroke has befallen me. And those my two sons of the second type is it not commanded, thou shalt not eat of it while mourning?"
Which verse is that?
So in verse 19.
Okay, we skipped 14.
I skipped 14. I
Yes.
skipped the whole page.
Yes, sir.
Sorry, I'm reading on Kindle.
Yes. Verse
All
14.
right, so you may eat of it. But the breast of the uplifting of the shoulder of the separation you may eat in any clean place, thou and thy sons with thee. So you can eat the uplifting of the breast anywhere, home, anywhere. This got to be a
Okay.
clean place.
Okay.
Thou and thy sons with thee, because it is thy portion and the portion of thy sons, which hath been given from the hallowed sacrifice of the children of Israel. The shoulder of of the separation and the elevated breast with the fats of the oblation, they shall bring to be uplifted an elevation before Yah, and they shall then be thine and thy sons with thee by everlasting statute, as Yah commanded thee. Now, I want to say something. If you notice, the priest is receiving all the fats, right,
Mm-hmm.
of their oblation, the sacred parts.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, right. Most people don't know that some of the fats are used in cooking,
Mm-hmm.
right? So you have like when you're cooking the inward parts,
Mm-hmm.
there is a certain things that have to be cooked and they are wrapped in the fat,
Mm-hmm.
right? So especially of the liver and the kidneys they require the fat because they don't have any fat of their own.
Right.
They require the fat to be cooked with them.
Okay.
Okay. On this day, 3 goats shall be offered: the goat for the beginning of the month or the new moon,
Mm.
the goat for the people's sin offering,
Mm.
and the goat for the sin offering which Nachshon, Bar, and Minadab have brought for the dedication of the altar.
Mm.
So remember, like each part was on account of a certain person,
Yes.
and Nachshon had to bring his own
Right.
goat also for that,
Mm.
the accounting. Okay.
Mm.
So we're talking about, Nachshon Bar Minadab from the tribe of Judah, and he has to bring a third goat. So now 3 goats get sacrificed. I'm telling y'all, this is a lot of animals.
Mm.
And there's a lot of people they feed. There's a lot of people who's going to eat this,
Mm.
right? So the goat for the beginning of the month. So they're telling you this is a new moon feast. What day is this?
This the first day? Oh, this day of the
Yeah, what day is this? It's the beginning of the month.
month. Was
So
this Nissan?
you see? So the new moon came. The new moon came in between Adar and Nisan
Nissan.
after the 28th day. So they have these extra days, hence the extra sacrifices had become due. So they're dealing with issues. Time is passing, days are passing, but this is what's happening.
So when it's saying beginning of the month or the new moon, it's not saying that the new moon was the beginning of the month,
Right.
but it was during the time of the beginning
Now
of the month.
at this time, the new moon
Moon
had
has of it,
shown itself
right?
at the beginning of the month.
Okay.
So if you don't remember the year before, right? So before the Exodus, they had 3 days of darkness,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So the new moon had appeared between the days of the 13th to the 14th, or the 10th to the 14th.
Yes.
The new moon appeared in Nisan, correct?
Yes.
So now, here we go. This is now a whole year later, and the new moon has moved 10 days earlier, and it's at the beginning of the month.
Well, the moon just do what it want to do.
Well, again, it travels 10 days every year. And so if you don't know how to track it, if you don't understand, then you'll miss it.
Wow.
So if you say the new moon, so they separated, remember, they were told to separate the lamb for the Pesach on the 10th day. Why are they doing all of this work and doing all this on the 10th day? Well, because they knew that the new moon was coming. This is the Most High's calculation separated on this day. Then on the 14th day in the evening, we'll do this. So the new moon had came in on what would have been the 11th, but it's that 10th day was the last night. There will be no more moon. Now here we are a year later, and it shows up at the beginning of the month.
Okay.
So before the first day of the month, but this is showing up in that time frame, the first day or the second day, but the new moon is present.
Right.
Okay? I could pin it down and do it exact, but I don't feel like breaking nobody else's brain. Right?
Yes.
So if the new moon shows up on the 11th day, which is after the 10th, then it'll show up before the first day. Right? And remember, they did the last week, 7 days,
Right.
for the atonement of the tabernacle and Aaron and everybody else.
Yes.
Then you have the first day, but then the sons died. Now they got to bury them.
Right.
Now it's the new moon feast, and they're taking care of that. And then the first day of the month is coming right after this.
Okay.
So I could do all the math and break it down, but I don't want to bust nobody's brain. I could pin down to the exact day. All right? But that's a separate class and project. You know, the time, the days, and how to count. What's the alignment? Where are we now? Where was this then? Because you can count it forwards and backwards, and it comes up the same.
So the offering of the 3 goats was just for on that day particular. That is not all the time around this time that you do it.
No, the extra one.
Okay.
So in the new moon feast, there's, a goat sacrifice that has to be done. We'll get there. It's going to explain that a little later, but there's a goat sacrifice that has to be done for the new moon feast. So we're going to have some jerk goat or some curried goat or something.
Great.
Okay. And Aaron and his sons went and burned those 3. So they did the burnt sacrifice for the 3 goats. But Moshe came and inquired for the goat of the people's sin offering. He sought it, but behold, it had been burned. And he was angry with Eleazar and Ithamar, the sons of Aaron, who were left, and said, why have you not eaten the sin offering in the holy place? For as much as it is sacred and hath been given to you for absolving the sin of the congregation to make atonement for you before Yah. So Moses is a bit deeply distraught now. Like,
Right.
according to the instruction, this is what's supposed to be done. So this is the setup to what I already read. Now you're going to go back to what I read before and read it again. So now he's talking to Eleazar and Ithamar, the two new priests, and he's looking at them like maybe they made some mistake. He's concerned and a little bit just like, hey,
What are you doing?
what are you doing? Why are we burning this? And you're supposed to eat it. It's for the absolvement of sin according to the instruction. And behold, none of its blood hath been carried within the sanctuary. You should have indeed eaten it in the holy place as I have been instructed. And now Aaron says to Moses, behold, this day the sons of Israel have brought the oblation of their sin offering and their burnt sacrifice before Yah, but a stroke hath befallen me. In that my two sons of the second tithe, is it not commanded? Right? So the stroke is that his two sons died. Right? And of the second tithe, right? The second tenth, right? Is it not commanded that thou shalt not eat of it while mourning? How much more then of the sin offering? If I had eaten of the sin offering this day with my two sons who are left, would it not have been all error, so that they too might have been burned by a judgment for doing that which was not pleasing before Yah? So now Aaron is saying, wait a minute, Moses, before you come down and bring this wrath and judgment upon us, I have a few questions. Was it not that this law is also present, that we don't eat it while mourning? And if you're saying to eat it, what if I had told them to eat it? And now I lose two more sons. And they die from the burning fire, or we die from the burning fire by not obeying the law of the mourning, by not consuming the sin offering while in mourning. And Moshe heard, and it was approvable before him. So now Moses hears Aaron's questioning and says, you're right. And he sent out a messenger, a crier, through the camp and said, I am he from whom the right has been hidden. And Aaron, my brother, has brought its remembrance to me. So Moses, in the hour now, right? Here's an hour of crisis. You have death, judgment, and Aaron still has to perform. And Moses is not mindful of this detail that Aaron remembers. And in this moment of grief, in this moment of having to perform the right with perfection, Aaron does so. Not so much as in calling down the fire, not so much as in setting it up, because we've been doing this.
Right.
But now, after everything is said and done, in restraining himself from what is apportioned to him, recognizing his state, in restraining himself, saying, I know this is delicious. I know this is for me, but I'm not supposed to have it in this state, so I won't have it at this time. I'll have it in the next time when I'm not dealing with this death. And for the sake of this next generation that they not die, I won't permit them to commit this sin either. So he's protecting the ordinances, he's protecting the next generation, and he is showing the strength and the circumcision of his heart in something that is desirable, saying, even though it's desirable, I won't take it. Everybody else you can have, I'm not touching it because it's not right according to our law. That's what Moses' cry, his message is relaying to the people. Right?
11:1.
That's where I am?
Yeah, 11:1.
Okay. And Moshe and Yah spake with Moshe and with Aaron. So now the Most High calls both of them in.
Wow.
Why? The test has come. The decision has been made. Moses repents for his private mistake publicly. Right? And says Aaron proved himself to be the right man for the job. In the hour of necessity, he stood firm and he did not give way. The Most High calls them in. And bidding them and the sons of Aaron admonish the sons of Israel to taste their food in purity. All right, we'll be back and continue after this. So, and the sons of Aaron admonished the children of Israel to taste their food in purity and to separate on account of uncleanness 18 kinds of food to be rejected. Okay, so they came out of Egypt eating crazy, eating 18 plus this. So they're eating scrimps, rabbits. They eating all kind of stuff, same as we are today.
Yes.
And now the children of Israel can no longer eat the unclean food because they're about to eat what the Levites have cooked.
Wow.
So to admonish you is to correct. Is to correct softly. They didn't cuss them out. They didn't this. They're saying, listen, here's a platter of food for you and your family. After you eat of this, you're no longer allowed to eat these other 18 kinds of food. All right? So these are the 18 kinds of food
To be rejected.
by the sons of Israel. So we getting into this now. I'm going to say it. Hear me. Right? I know you've been eating it. Because the Most High is not saying this, and it has not been eaten. Okay? Speak with the children of Israel, saying, these are the animals which are fit to you for food. Okay? Of every beast which is upon the earth. So, out of all the animals on the earth, these are the ones that are fit for food. Whatsoever divideth the hoof, and is cloven footed, and that which hath horns, bringing up the cud among the beasts, that you may eat. Okay? So the hoof is divided, right? Have a divided hoof, and is cloven footed. Okay? So can we eat camel?
No.
No. Why? The camel, while it is cloven footed,
It's
it
not
doesn't divide the hoof. Okay? We don't eat camel. Can we eat wildebeest?
No.
Yes.
Oh, we can?
Wildebeest is
Oh, I
just a
don't know.
wild cow.
Okay. Yeah.
The
Okay.
wildebeest, the wild black cow, the wildebeest. It's a cow. It's an oxen. Can we eat deer?
Yes.
Yes. Okay? You cannot eat the rabbit. While it does chew the cud, it is not cloven footed. Neither does it divide the hoof. So the animals that we are allowed to eat of these types of cattle, we eat them. All right?
Okay. So to be clear about the animals we eat and cannot eat, it has nothing to do with what their diet is. It is because of the specific details that Yah gives
It has
us.
nothing to do with what the animals eat. It has everything to do with what our covenant of our diet is. This is a law. If you're looking for a reason to obey the law, I got the reason for you. You in or you out. That's the reason. If you can't accept that, then you will accept the punishment. And you already out, so just stay out.
Right.
You can eat what you want while you out there. You can't come in with this. All right, now we're going to start getting to a breakdown. So you said what divided the hoof, cloven footed, and chews the cud.
Okay.
Okay? But you may not eat of these kinds that only bring up the cud. So if it don't fit this, but it does bring up the cud, don't eat it. Nor of them which only divideth the hoof. So if it divideth the hoof, but don't chew the cud, we don't eat it. Because they are born of the unclean. Here's some examples. The camel, because he bringeth up the cud, but he divideth not the hoof. He is unclean to you. So while we do keep the camels, while we do love the camels, while we do raise the camels, we don't eat the camels. The rabbit, the coney, the bunny, because he bringeth up the cud, but divideth not the hoof, is unclean to you. The hare, because he bringeth up the cud, but divideth not the hoof, is unclean to you. Okay? And the swine, because he divideth the hoof, and is cloven footed, but cheweth not the cud, is unclean to you. Of their flesh you shall not eat nor touch their carcasses. They are abominable to you. So who's abominating them? You are. So the camel, the pig, the hare, right? All of these are abominable to me. Equally. They're all in the same boat. Does that mean that I don't use pigs on my farm? I can use pigs on my farm. They may not be clean, Alive, they are fine.
But dead.
Dead, I don't want to touch it.
Mm.
You see? All of these animals are fine alive, but dead, they will make me unclean.
Mm.
I don't eat them. They're not for food. They are for service.
Mm. So let me ask you, like a football is made out of a
No,
pig, you can't
no,
touch it.
no, mm-mm,
Ain't
no,
supposed to touch the
no,
football.
no, no, no.
Wow.
I don't deal with
Mm. The
the
carcass.
carcasses of this. Okay?
Wow. Mm.
Okay? And these you may eat of all that are in the waters, each one that hath fins and scales in the seas and the rivers. And anything that is in the sea that crawleth shall be an abomination to you. So, okay, this is why I don't eat catfish. No scales.
Mm-hmm.
It has fins, it swims,
Mm-hmm.
but they have no scales.
Has nothing to do with them being bottom feeders.
It has nothing to do. It says if it crawleth, there's
Right.
fish that crawl. I don't eat
Yeah.
that fish.
Mm-hmm.
It crawl on the bottom. I don't eat that one. I don't need to go fishing at the bottom.
Right.
I don't eat the barracuda. I
Mm-hmm.
don't eat it. I don't eat eel. I don't eat it. Fins, scales.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
All right? An abomination shall their jelly and their sauce be to you.
So no soy sauce, no oyster sauce, no fish sauce, because it's made with anchovies. None of it we're supposed to eat.
Now, there it goes. It's all out the window.
Mm.
So you don't eat this and the sauce. It's no, no.
Mm. Mm-mm-mm.
And of their flesh you shall not eat, and their carcass you shall have in abhorrence to. And from the use of them you must keep aloof.
Mm.
No, no, you avoid this. No, 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 no. I don't want to use, I don't want fish sauce. I don't want to use it on my rice. I don't want to use it on my chicken. I don't want it. I don't want fish jelly. Now, the funny part is, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Jewish people have gefilte fish. This abominable fish jelly.
Mm.
Black people don't really eat too much jellyfish. We already,
Right.
but we eat a lot of other stuff now today that are abominable.
Mm.
But you learned it out there. These people have been doing it, so you don't do that.
Mm.
Everyone that hath fins nor scales in the water shall be an abomination to you. So if it has fins
And no scale.
but no scales, you don't eat it.
No shark.
So if it has fins and skin, you don't eat it.
Mm-hmm. No sardines.
No whales.
No scallops. They come from stingrays.
That's even in a hard shell.
Mm.
No shellfish.
Mm.
No. Stop eating it. No oyster.
Mm-hmm.
Stop.
Mm-hmm.
This is not lawful to you anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Now I'm telling you to stop now. You can continue. But it's going to be hard because these Levites that's coming, I'm telling you, you're not going to be able to taste this and that and live.
Right.
And these kinds of birds must be abominated, those not a finger long. So if it's a little bird, it's not even the length of your finger, this automatically out.
Mm.
We're not eating the tiny birds.
Mm-hmm.
Or that have no vesicle, the zafak. Okay? So, or whose crop peeleth not away, are not to be eaten, they are an abomination. And to give you an example of these birds, the eagle, the black eagle, and the osprey, and the kite, and the vulture after his kind, and every raven after his kind, and the ostrich, and the night raven, and the gull, and the hawk after his kind, and the snatcher of fish from the sea, and the ibis, and the bustard, and the cuckoo, and the woodpecker, and the white stork, and the black stork, and the woodcock, and the bat.
So
Now, wait a minute. The pheasant, the entire pheasant family, is not on this list.
no,
The pheasant, nor the dove, or the pigeon.
or the chicken.
Pigeon is pheasant family.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? We in here, right here. Okay? Right here. Okay? Every flying reptile that goeth upon four, and the fly species. Now, this is the insects. So it's telling you what these reptiles are.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? The fly species, the wasp or hornet, and the bee species shall be an abomination to you. Nevertheless, of honey of the bee you may eat.
Ooh,
You can eat the honey.
honey. Right, but you can't eat the bee itself.
Don't eat the bees.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So also of these you may eat. Of every flying reptile that goeth upon four, every one that hath joints above his feet, and leap therewith upon the ground. Of these kinds of them you may eat the wingless locust after his kind, and the bald locust after his kind, the serpent killer after his kind, and the karzaba, which is the palmer worm after his kind. So you can eat these locust bugs and the palmer worms.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all don't like that, right? You can eat the grasshopper. Put the pork down. Pick up the grasshopper.
Mm-hmm.
You see locusts, go get you a net and fry it up. Fry them alive.
And nowhere here does it say anything that we are to eat like it was in Genesis in the garden. It's Pacific.
No, it don't. But all flying reptiles which have 4 feet are to be an abomination to you. Okay? And by them you would be defiled. Whosoever touches their carcass shall be unclean until the evening. So if you touch a dead bug, you are unclean till the sun goes down. Okay? Wash your hands, but you'll be clean again when sun go down. So you see, you kill anything, you touch anything dead, it didn't matter how small, you will be unclean till evening. Whoever carrieth any of the carcass must wash his clothes and be unclean until evening. So whoever carrieth the carcass is unclean until evening, just for carrying the carcass. You didn't even touch the thing.
Right.
All cattle which divideth the hoof, but are not cloven-footed, nor throw up the cud, are to be unclean to you. Anyone who touches them shall be unclean. Everyone that goeth upon his paws of all animals that walk upon four shall be unclean to you. Whosoever touches their carcass shall be unclean until evening. Whoever beareth their carcass shall wash his clothes and be unclean until evening. So unclean are they to you. So now we're talking, this is a common thing. You touch anything dead today, go clean yourself and you're considered clean in the evening. Why? Because first of all, if you're doing this, you go out working all day anyway. Right? You working somewhere, you come back in, it's going to be evening, you wash, you clean, you're good. Finished. It's dinner time, you have to wash anyway. Your hands, your feet, your face. Take a shower. If you don't take a shower when you come in at nighttime, you are the nastiest person I know. Because now you just bring in all of the funk from all day to your spouse. You don't love her. You don't love him. You just come in straight from outside and you give him this tangy, zesty mess. You are nasty. You come in the house from work from outside, clean yourself, and present yourself to your spouse. Okay? You have to clean and wash your hands and your feet before you pray anyway, and before you have dinner, and we have a prayer call at the dinner time anyway. So you have to clean anyway. But for those of you who are new to the customs and traditions, stop that. It's nasty.
29.
And these also to you are such as defile the blood, the skin, and the flesh of every reptile that creepeth upon the ground, the weasel, the mouse, black, red, and white, and the toad after his kind. Don't eat it. Don't eat it. The sucking serpent and the chameleon and the lizard and the snail and the salamander. These 8 kinds are unclean to you among all reptiles. Whoever touches them, their skin, or their blood shall be unclean until the evening. It's nasty to touch them. Don't touch them. If you touch them, you unclean till the evening. I know that some of you strange ones out there, you have these for pets in your house. Now your house nasty. It's unclean. Till evening time, clean the area. I know some of you live in tropical places. It's difficult to get them out your house. This, we understand, this not the same. This not you keeping it in a glass and you reach in every day to feed it and pet it and rub it. Every day you love it. Oh, I love it so much. I touch it. Okay. And whatever upon which any part of their dead body may fall, as their members, when separated from them, shall be unclean.
Mm.
Every vessel of wood or garment or leather or sack or anything in which work is done, in 4 measures of water it shall be dipped
Mm.
and be unclean for use until evening, when it shall be purified.
Wow.
Any earthen vessel into which any of them may fall, any vessel in which they may be, shall be unclean and be broken.
Mm.
So if it falls on something leather or wood
Mm-hmm.
that is washable in water, wash it,
Mm-hmm.
and it will be clean and purified in the evening.
Mm.
If it fall in anything of clay, break it.
Mm.
It will be, it is worthless. It is unclean. All food for eating upon which such water cometh shall be unclean. So if it fall on any food, it's nasty. And any fluid which is used for drinking in any such vessel shall be unclean. So if they get in the water,
Wow.
that water is now unclean.
Clean. Mm.
Anything upon which any part of their carcass may fall shall be unclean, whether ovens or pans, they shall be broken, they are defiled, and shall be unclean to you.
Mm.
Okay? So if it fall in any of your personal items, it's unclean,
Mm.
right? You have to, take that water and put it in the garden. Go do something else. Just not for your drinking.
Yes.
Okay? But
Mm.
fountains and cisterns, the places for the collection of running waters,
Mm.
shall be clean. So that's the difference.
Mm-hmm.
Fountains and cisterns, if the water is running, moving constantly in flow, there's a collection place, but the flow comes in and it continues on, this clean,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm. 36.
But he who toucheth the carcass of any of those things that may have fallen into the water shall be unclean. This water is running is good. You touch the carcass, even to take it out to do this, you still unclean till evening. And if any part of their carcass fall in the way upon seed that is to be sown, that which is to be sown dry shall be clean. So if it fall on seed to go in the ground, no. This seed good.
Fertilizer.
Yeah, no problem. Put in the dirt. Seed good. This not clean. Nobody's put that in the dirt too. The dirt clean it.
Yes.
But if the carcass of any of them fall upon water that is put upon the seed, when so wetted, the seed is unclean to you.
Wow.
So you don't want to water your seed with this, because this animal may have some toxic, some poison, bacteria, leave it.
Mm.
If the limb of any clean beast, if the limb of any clean beast that you may eat be torn and it die, whosoever touches it shall be unclean until the evening. He who eateth of its carcass shall wash his clothes and be unclean until the evening. I'll be right back and we're going to close out. All right. So for all of you roadkill eaters, he who eateth of the carcass That's of this animal that was killed or torn and died. Somehow you rode kill eaters, or you stealing the kills from lions and bears because you're so hungry. I understand you're hungry. You still unclean until the evening.
Mm-hmm.
And he who carrieth his carcass shall wash his clothes and be unclean till evening. And every reptile that creepeth on the ground is an abomination, it shall not be eaten. And whatever goeth upon its belly, and whatever animal crawleth upon. For from the serpent unto the caterpillar, which hath many feet, of any reptile that creepeth on the ground, you may not eat, for they are an abomination. You shall not contaminate your souls by any reptile that creepeth, nor defile yourself with them, lest by them you make yourself unclean. For I am Yah, your Allah. Therefore, sanctify yourself and be holy. Set yourself apart. You now have a special diet to be special among men. I know the Chinese eat everything. I know the French eat abominably. I know that some tribes in Africa will eat crazy. I know the American love his pork. I know some people out here eating seals and walruses. I know. But I'm not talking to all of them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking you, sons of Israel, sons of Jacob. Don't eat that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
This now stop.
Mm-hmm.
No ants, chocolate covered or otherwise. No roasted tarantulas and spider.
Mm-hmm.
Stop. And I'm telling you, governments, since you're keeping them in your possession, don't feed this to them.
Mm-hmm.
Sanctify yourselves and be holy, for I am holy, and defile not your souls by any reptile that creepeth upon the ground. For I am Yah, who have brought you up free from the land of Mitzrayim, from the land of the west, that I may be a Allah to you, and you may be holy, for I am holy. This is the decree of the law concerning beasts, birds, and every living animal that creepeth upon the ground, for making distinction between the unclean and the clean, between the animals whose flesh may be eaten and the animals whose flesh may not be eaten.
Mm. So we can eat the meat.
Yeah, we gonna eat some meat.
We can eat meat.
We gonna eat meat.
Okay.
We ain't eating iguanas.
Right.
No crocodiles or gators. All that, stop.
So
You want something exotic? Go grab you some grasshoppers.
So it says here in 45, because of this ordinance, and we do it, it make us holy.
Yes, this is one part. It's a step in sanctifying yourself, setting yourself apart from everybody else.
So
they can eat it.
Right.
I don't care what the yellow people eat. I'm just saying for the sons of Israel, we don't eat this. The sons of Israel do not eat fish jelly. And you can't have fish sauce.
So just eating vegetables don't make us separated. Okay.
No.
Just making clear.
I can understand if you in the country where all the
Those
meat is
meats
abominable,
phenomenal. Yeah,
and you're
yeah.
eating vegetarian because you don't have
Control
control
of your food.
over your food.
Right, but that don't make you more holy.
Nah, it's just you trying to survive until you can get control over your food.
But
And you can't get control over your food until you can buy some land and raise your own.
Yes.
And you can't do that in the West system.
No, you can't.
You have to come out from there.
Yes.
Which is why we are where we are, starting where we're starting. So please feel free to click on the link, make a donation today. I'm thinking about adding the Cash Apps to, the link in our, what's the name below, so people can just, Cash App donations. I think it's easier for some of the people in the States to just send $1, send $5, send $10, but make donations. We need a lot more people to contribute because we're not building for ourselves.
Right. And we do keep record when you do send something. So there is record of it.
And I know we're not that popular, but we're only not popular because you guys have to share. You guys have to first recognize what we're saying is true. In all of the noise and outside of all of the entertainment, I know this isn't the most exciting or funniest thing in the world, but it is the most important.
Yes.
Right? You have to watch the American news, whether it's entertaining or not, and they have to inform you of what is important because you're under their government. However, it's time for us to have our own, and we have to make that our priority.
Yes.
Nobody can make that priority for you. You have to make that the priority for yourself, for your home, for your children, for your future. Because when it comes time for your children to get land, we will be the only ones who can issue it. Nobody else is going to issue it to you. The land we buy now is not the inherited portions of land you will receive later.
Right.
You have to be in position first to receive that.
Right.
So we have to have civilization first. We have to have our own governing bodies. We have to have our leaders, our schools, our own supermarkets, our own farms, our own factories, so that we can grow. We have to have our own defense forces.
Right. We got to get prepared, a base.
You have to have this right now is just a forward operating base to grow and get some establishment so we can grow because we're going to get the rest of our land back, but to support you so that you're strong enough when you receive your inheritance, you're able to invest and build on it. This does not come by luck. It's not going to come because you made it to the NBA or the NFL or any soccer league or anything. It's not coming.
Right.
It's not coming. Those things, you just keep continually investing in that and investing your children into that. And then they get this money and you just squander it until they get old or get kicked out or die. And then they end up stuck, still in the same country and still dealing with the same racist issues because you have no separation. Racism is not what people think it is. It's not people hating on you simply because of the color of your skin. They're hating on you because they feel like their land they have an entitlement to, and you feel like you have a right because of the color of your skin.
Right.
You see? So if you have a country, your country is supposed to cater to you and your people.
Right.
Which means we need to leave.
And just because you help build their country don't mean they owe you anything.
No, you know what? I'm going to tell you this now. They're doing a fine job of destroying their country and you with it.
Yeah.
So let's forget this and we need to start building our own, gathering our own. We have full 100% control and we have full 100% self-supported. This means it's ours and it's ours. And when I say ours, it really means like you invest, it is yours. You put in, you work, you earn, you gain. You gain.
Mm-hmm.
Not I gain and you're just a member. No, we gain. Not
Right.
like church. In church, you give, the pastor gets rich, you a member.
Mm-hmm.
I know this is what you understand, but I am telling you that's not the way it works because you have to work here.
Mm-hmm.
Not you work there and just give. No, you work there, you give, we build, you come, you work here.
Right.
You are transferring your life, you are moving.
Mm-hmm.
So this becomes your life and your job
Yes.
together, same place, same time.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to build your escape. You have to build your way out. That's why we're here. That's why we're doing it.
Mm-hmm.
There is nobody going to build for you except you.
Yes.
Okay? People are going to help you. Everybody builds and contributes to each one's success continuously, but nobody's going to do it for you and you've not done anything for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
All right?
Right.
So one step. I'm gonna probably try to get the cash apps up for into the bio below, and hey, you'd be surprised. 1 million people donate $10. That's $10 million. I mean, that's a small city here.
Mm-hmm.
I could build a small city here.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's really a big deal. It's really, really a big deal. And it's time for us to invest in our home, not a place where we have to fight for rights, but where our laws and rights are open and we know what we're getting into and we know what they are and they cannot be changed.
Yes.
All right. I'll see you all tomorrow. One step, one step.
One.